The first rumble rolls in and your dog falls apart, trembling, panting, trying to squeeze under the bed or press into your side. It's heartbreaking. And if you've ever been told your dog is just being dramatic or that comforting them makes it worse, I have good news. Both of those are completely wrong. Your dog's fear is real, it's biological, and there is a great deal you can actually do to help. So today we're going to cover all of it: why storms and fireworks terrify dogs so deeply, the damaging myth that stops loving owners from helping, and a clear, step-by-step plan to become your dog's safe place. By the end, you'll know exactly what to do the next time the sky lights up. Let's get into it. First, let's clear this up completely because it matters. Noise fear is a genuine, recognized medical and behavioral condition. It is not weakness, it is not bad behavior, and it is absolutely not something your dog can simply choose to switch off. And it is incredibly common. In fact, fear of noises is the single most common behavioral problem in dogs. By some estimates, up to half of all dogs show a real fear response to fireworks. So if this is your dog, you are very far from alone. And this fear isn't just in their head, it's measurable in the body. In studies where dogs were exposed to recorded thunderstorm sounds, researchers like Dreschel and Granger documented real physiological stress, racing hearts, heavy panting, drooling, and a sharp spike in the stress hormone cortisol, which can jump dramatically. This is a true panic response. So let's learn to see it, because fear doesn't always look like obvious cowering. Watch for trembling, panting, pacing, drooling, dilated pupils, a tucked tail and lowered body, hiding, desperately clinging to you, or frantic attempts to escape. And here's the heartbreaking part. Some truly terrified dogs will injure themselves, breaking through doors, windows, or crates, trying to get away from the noise. That is not drama. That is genuine panic. And once you can recognize it for what it really is, you can finally start to help. But to help, you first need to understand why it's so uniquely terrible for them. So why are storms and fireworks so uniquely awful for dogs? Here's the key insight. It's not one scary thing. It's several frightening things hitting at the exact same time, a kind of sensory whammy. Let's stack them up. Start with the obvious one: hearing. Dogs hear far better than we do, so those booming claps of thunder and exploding fireworks are even louder, sharper, and more startling to them than they are to us. Then add the sudden, blinding flashes of lightning. But here's the part most people completely miss. Many experts believe dogs can also feel the drop in barometric pressure that comes before a storm even arrives. This may be exactly why your dog starts pacing and worrying while the sky still looks perfectly calm, sensing the storm coming before you have any idea. On top of that, static electricity is thought to build up in their fur. They can smell the change in the air, that sharp ozone scent, and then the rain and howling wind pile on even more chaos. Now put yourself in their paws. A wall of unpredictable, deafening sound, flashes of light, a strange pressure you can physically feel approaching, a prickle of static in your coat, and absolutely no way to understand or control any of it. Suddenly, the terror makes complete sense. And fireworks bring all of this with one extra cruelty. They're utterly random, with no pattern at all to brace against. But here's something many owners don't realize: left alone, this fear often doesn't just stay the same. It tends to get worse. This is a really important point, and it's why I'd urge you not to just wait and hope. Noise fear is often not a one-and-done reaction that stays at the same level year after year. For many dogs, it actually escalates over time if nothing is done about it. Here's why. Every terrifying storm or fireworks night a dog endures without help can deepen the fear, teaching its brain that this experience is even more threatening than it thought. Researchers like Stephanie Reamer, who studies firework fears, have shown that these fears can genuinely progress and worsen, and that early action makes a real difference. In fact, one study found that a meaningful share of fearful dogs need days to fully recover behaviorally after a fireworks event, and some show changes lasting weeks. A fear that started as mild trembling as a puppy can grow into full-blown panic in a few short years. And the flip side is the hopeful part. Because the fear is learned and can grow, it can also be managed and reduced with the right approach, which is exactly what the rest of this video is about. And it begins by busting the one myth that stops people from helping at all. This is the most important myth to bust because it actively stops loving owners from doing the right thing. You've almost certainly heard it, that if you comfort a frightened dog, hold it, soothe it, reassure it, you'll reward the fear and make it worse. Let me say this as clearly as I can. That is not true. Here's the simple reason why. Fear is an emotion, not a behavior. You can accidentally reward a behavior like a sit or a bark or a trick because the dog chooses to do it. But you cannot reward a feeling into existence. Your dog is not choosing to be scared, so your kindness and comfort cannot make it choose to be more scared. In fact, research has found that an owner comforting their dog during a scary noise does not make the dog's fear or its stress hormones any worse. And modern behaviorists overwhelmingly agree. Comforting a terrified dog is not only completely okay, it provides real emotional support and helps it cope. So if your dog comes to you during a storm, be its safe harbor. The most powerful thing here is your own calm. Dogs read our energy closely, so stay relaxed, breathe, speak softly, and offer gentle physical contact if, and only if, your dog actively wants it. The one thing you must never do is punish or scold a scared dog. That only adds you to its list of frightening things and shatters the trust it needs. You, being a calm, steady, reassuring presence, are one of the most powerful tools your dog has. But comfort in the moment is just the start. Let's build something more lasting. Beyond comforting your dog, the single most useful thing you can physically set up is a safe den, a dedicated place your dog can retreat to and feel genuinely protected. This taps right into a deep instinct. In the wild, a den is safety, an enclosed space where nothing can sneak up on you. So here's how to build a good one. Pick a quiet, interior room with as few windows as possible. This is exactly why bathrooms, closets, and basements are such popular choices. Close the blinds or curtains to block out those frightening flashes of light. Then run something to mask the sound. A fan, a white noise machine, calm music, or even just the TV turned up a little can take the sharp edge off each boom. Add their familiar bed or a soft blanket, and maybe a favorite long-lasting chew or a food puzzle to give them something soothing to focus on instead. Now, 2 absolutely key rules. First, let your dog choose. Many dogs already have a specific spot where they feel safest, so let them pick it and make that place comfortable, rather than forcing them somewhere you think is best. And second, this one is critical, never lock a panicking dog inside a closed crate. A truly terrified dog can seriously injure itself trying to claw and bite its way out. The den must always feel like a refuge it can enter and leave freely, never a trap. Comfort and a den help your dog survive the night, but you can go further and actually change how it feels. For a real longer-term fix, you can actually rewire how your dog feels about the noise itself, using a proven technique that trainers call desensitization and counterconditioning. The concept is beautifully simple. You play recordings of thunder or fireworks at a volume so low that it doesn't worry your dog at all, barely audible. And while it plays, you pair it with wonderful things. Delicious treats, a favorite game, lots of happy praise. The dog's brain slowly begins to relink that sound from danger to good things happen now. Then, over many sessions, you very gradually raise the volume, always staying below the level that triggers any fear. But a few honest, important notes. Do this work when storm and fireworks season is over, not during it. Go painfully slowly. Rushing is the #1 way to make things worse. And ideally, get guidance from a vet or a qualified behaviorist. Also, be realistic. Recordings simply can't recreate a real storm, the pressure change, the flashes, the smell in the air, so for storm phobia especially, this tends to reduce the fear rather than completely erase it. 2 gentle extra tools can help alongside this. Snug, gentle pressure wraps, like an anxiety shirt which seem to calm some dogs, and dog-appeasing pheromone diffusers that release a calming scent signal. The scientific evidence on both is fairly modest, so don't expect miracles, but they're gentle, low-risk things to try. Now, all of this is wonderful for mild to moderate fear. But what about the night itself? And what about severe cases? Let's get practical about the actual event because a little preparation makes a huge difference. Here's your game plan. Before it starts, if you know fireworks or a storm are coming, exercise and feed your dog earlier in the day. A pleasantly tired, well-fed dog copes a little better, and you don't want a full, anxious stomach during the peak. Take them out for a toilet break before the noise begins, because once it starts, many dogs are too scared to go. Then, as it begins, close all the windows, doors, blinds, and curtains, and turn on that sound masking early before the first bang. Crucially, make sure your dog is safely secured indoors and cannot bolt out an open door or gate. This is the #1 night for dogs to panic, escape, and go missing, so double-check that your dog's collar, ID tag, and microchip details are all up to date, just in case. During the noise, stay home with your dog if you possibly can. Your calm presence matters enormously. Act normal and relax yourself. Don't make a huge fuss, but absolutely do comfort them if they seek it. And you can actively play the good things happen game right through it, offer treats, a stuffed chew, or a gentle game to help create happier associations. Prepare the night, and you turn pure chaos into something far more manageable. But for some dogs, even all of this isn't quite enough, and that's where real medical help comes in. If your dog's fear is severe, full-blown, inconsolable panic, hurting itself trying to escape, or a terror that is clearly getting worse every single season, please, do not try to white-knuckle through it alone, year after year. This is the moment to talk to your veterinarian. Severe noise phobia is a genuine medical problem, and it has real, effective medical solutions. Here's the encouraging news. There are safe, modern anti-anxiety medications designed for exactly this situation, including one called Cilio that is specifically approved for treating noise fear in dogs. Given before the noise starts, the right medication can take the sharp edge off the panic, so your dog can actually cope instead of suffer, and so that all the other training and management you're doing finally has room to work. And please hear this clearly. Reaching for medication is not a failure, and it is not cruel or a last resort. For a severely frightened dog, it can be one of the kindest, most compassionate things you ever do for it. One firm safety rule, though. Only ever use medication prescribed by your vet. Never give your dog human anti-anxiety drugs or over-the-counter remedies, as many are dangerous or even toxic to dogs. This whole video is for general awareness and isn't a substitute for your vet, so talk to them, ideally a few weeks before storm season or a big fireworks holiday, to find the right plan. And remember, the very best results always come from combining approaches. The medication, the safe den, the comfort, and the retraining, all working together. So here's the truth to hold on to. You can't stop the thunder and you can't cancel the fireworks, but you absolutely can change what they mean to your dog, transforming them over time from pure, helpless terror into something survivable with you as the calm, steady, safe center of it all. Bust the myth and comfort them freely. Build the den. Prepare the night. And get real help if you need it. There is no shame in it, only kindness. Because to a frightened dog in the middle of a storm, there is no safer place in the entire world than right next to you. If you want to keep understanding what your dog is really telling you, all backed by real science, subscribe. Every week, we decode another behavior so you can be the person your dog needs you to be. See you in the next one. This video is for general awareness and isn't a substitute for your veterinarian. For severe fear or any medication, please consult your vet or a qualified veterinary behaviorist.